everybody. Welcome back, or if it's your first time, glad to see you. Listen, if Heather acts weird, I'm going to put this out there. I was watching this podcast today. You know, we don't even think about this, but I thought it was the weirdest thing, right? This preacher and his wife were standing there, and he was talking, and she's going, the whole time, and there really was not even anything to smile about, okay?
Well, when I'm with you, Kim, there's always reasons to smile.
Don't be acting weird.
Hey, also, total disclaimer, I forgot the water bottle at home today, so Kim might be just doing crazy things, okay?
I'm not cursing. I'm not. So, the snowflakes, how cool is that? And then we got icicles up there. Yeah. That's Billy did that. Yeah, because he's pretty cool that way.
Thanks, Billy.
Okay, so what are we going to talk about tonight? Well, you know, the watchers don't help us too much. So we just have to do whatever.
Yes. Please feel free to comment. Hey, do you want to tell them about what we're going to have upcoming?
Yeah, we're going to be off Christmas and New Year's.
Yeah, that's important too. You need to know that.
Is that what you're talking about?
No, listen.
I can't.
This is what we think. I'm telling you, this is what we are going to do. We're going to do some kind of like contest type deal from our Facebook page, where if you invite all of your Facebook friends to like our page, maybe like share a post, or, you know, the usual thing that like people do when they're promoting. You know, we're going to give that a couple weeks time. And then when we jump back in the new year, we are going to choose 3 of you who do all the things to join us live in the studio for one of our shows. And I'm super excited to have a live audience. We want you to engage with us, you know, comment when we say things.
We want you to be up here in the snowflakes. Yeah, that kind of thing.
I'm excited. So please be watching our Facebook page for details on that at Real and Redeemed. I didn't hit the button. I'm sorry.
I know. And it doesn't work when I hit it, so I don't like to hit it. See, it's still not working.
All right, I'll hit the button and you take us into our next conversation.
Well, I don't know what the next conversation's going to be. I was thinking, I had a couple things on my mind. And one of them was, stop it. Stop. See?
I'm sorry, I can't.
I came close. Don't do that. We're moving right up onto the
Stay focused, Kim. Stay
Lord's
focused.
birthday. Stop it. Don't be silly. Okay. Wait, I got a snowflake in my eye. I got to get it. I got it. Okay. All right. See, you see what that looks like?
That's
so
5 minutes
bad.
ago. Don't look at that. Stay forward. That's like where it lags.
All right. Okay. So anyways, I was thinking about patience. And then, and patience in a big way, not the, can I wait in the line at Kroger's patience? That's pretty easily accomplished. But patience about things that, let's just say, we think are really important, okay? And forgiveness, that was the other thing on my mind. And I'm not talking about little things with that either. I'm talking about, you know, things that we get damaged and really hurt, you know, and we just, we think we have forgiven until it rises again. And then all these feelings well up in us, you know, and we realize, oh, not so good. Well, you know, I'm sure that there are people who have immediate forgiveness when they ask God. My big things are with forgiveness have not been immediate, but I will tell you one thing that has helped me immensely, and somebody told me a long time ago, and I'm telling you, it has worked every time, probably for 40 years, to pray for health, happiness, and prosperity for whoever you have a resentment to, or your heart was damaged by someone. and they said, pray for everything that you want for yourself, for them, and that health, happiness, and prosperity really covers everything.
And ask God to let you see that person through
To-
his eyes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that might be a crusher.
Yeah, because I
Now-
bet if you could look at yourself from somebody else's point of view and like not God's, you might see like there's some ugliness in you that you didn't realize was there. But thank God, the only perception of you that matters is God's perception. So if you can look at somebody else through his eyes and not your own eyes, because we are held to the standard of our own judgment, right? The Bible is pretty clear about that. So the
Yes.
way that we judge others is the way, that God will judge us. So,
And the same thing with forgiveness. Forgive as you've
Mhm.
forgiven, as you have been forgiven. That's the thing.
Mhm.
But it isn't always the easiest to do. But that's a really important point of the way we see ourselves and the way others see us, because I contemplate that pretty frequently,
Mhm.
how other people see me. And
Yeah.
it gives me a sometimes.
Motivation and intent is the most important thing. I say stupid stuff all the time. I do stupid things, but if you could look past the stupid thing I said or did and could see in my heart that maybe like there was some insecurity or there
That's a big
was,
one.
like really I was trying to help, but I was unsure of how to handle it. Like I don't think I ever do anything like with the like, oh, I'm gonna get you. Like that's never my intent. Like maybe sometimes in a heated
You
moment
feel
might,
that way, but you
yeah,
don't
but
do
that's
it.
not.
Right.
Like I think, and a lot of other people are like that too. And so, but it's important to know. Even Proverbs tells us that the Spirit of the Lord is like always searching in you for your motives. And if that's what God is doing, if God cares more about the intent of your heart than He does anything else, then that's what we should focus on too. So I think that's another.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That goes for them though too. When somebody is angry, I don't know for sure, but I'll tell you, with me, when I am angry, I'm hurt, and I portray that as anger. But it might take me a little while to dig down to what the problem is, and 99% of the time, I'm hurt.
Are you willing to peel back the layers of the onion that you are?
Yeah, that's no fun. That's no fun.
Mm-mm.
Well, when I was thinking about this patience thing, I've been trying to, do something for the community now for months, and I just can't seem to get anything right with one aspect. I'll just say the state of Indiana. We'll just say that. That's okay. Yeah. Because I do forgive them. But there's all these laws in Indiana, and I'm an Ohio practitioner, so it's a bit different here. And so I can't seem to get this agreement right, and anyways, it doesn't matter. This is one of those big things.
Do they know what you're doing?
Yeah, but no, we're not.
We're not talking about it?
No, we're not talking about it yet.
Okay.
No,
Sorry. You don't get to know.
Yeah, not yet. We'll bust it out when we're ready to go.
It's exciting. I will tell you that. God is good. Kim is cool.
God is good.
Mm-hmm.
But it's God's time, which sometimes, I'll tell you, what day was it? Monday, I was so done with it. Now, P.S., I got zero control, okay? They send something to me and said, you got to fix this. This isn't right. I fix it. I send it back. They have a 10-day waiting period where they don't even have to respond. And then after the 10 days, they take as long as they want. So, of course, a couple months have went by with the same issue of they tell me something's wrong, I fix it up, they don't like it, they find something else wrong, blah, blah, blah. But I was just feeling like really blue about it on Monday, but my blueness, this has been on my heart, and actually years for years, okay? And now God's time was right to, and it has all come together with equipment and space and just a million things that are beautiful just fell into it. But when I was feeling bad Monday, my biggest thing was I was worried, is this not God's will? You know, am I not doing God's will? So I didn't really know what to do. So I stayed home from the thing I usually go to on Monday, and I read my Bible. And I read like 4 books in the Bible. Okay, this sounds crazy, but it's like praise and worship for me. It fixes me every stinking time. Okay, if I do praise and worship, that will fix me. If I read my Bible, and I mean read it
I
and
love to
be
binge read.
into it and just read, it fixes me, okay? But that kind of patience, or when someone is sick, or you don't feel well and you're not getting answers, and you're not getting answers, and you're going here and you're going there and you're going and you're not getting any answers. One of the biggest lessons I've learned is that my time and God's time are so different. He is never early, he is never late, he is always on time.
Yeah.
And the thing, you know, with what I'm trying to do, gosh, I started to say God's been busting my, but I'm not going to, I'm going to reword that. God has been on me about some things, okay? And I, maybe for about 2 weeks. So then I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe I need to be better before I step out into this thing, be a better person than I am, you know, be more God directed than I am, you know, and that's what's happening. I don't know what's happening, but what I do know is God's time is not my time. It shall happen, because if I'm willing to do all the work and jump the hurdles and go in the valleys and come back up, it will happen. It shall happen. You know, God's time and not mine. Do you want to talk about something?
God's timing is everything. See, I've got stuff that I don't think I should talk about, so I'm not going to talk about it.
Maybe I didn't know we had off the tables.
Yeah, well, I know, but apparently we do. And the reason, so
You
mine
do.
is business, mine's also business related. So I don't want to talk about that because I want to wait to see, but I will say that like we went into business in June of 2022, and we have been praying, and we have been putting in the footwork, and we have been doing all the things within our own power to do. And I think now, like, God has been doing things all along the way, and it's been incredible and beautiful and just very cool to be a part of. And I think we're getting close to some new things, okay? And I don't want to, so I'm not. But I know the point is that God's perfect timing is everything. So I'm hoping that here very soon we will be back on the podcast, and I will be sharing some very exciting.
Snow
Oh, get it. It's getting kind of chilly in here, but I will have some exciting news to share. I will share this. I was just talking to Kim before we got started, and this is the cool thing about and this I guess also is kind of God's timing. You guys know we recently lost our very first horse. You know, he was an older guy, probably like 40 or something. Nobody really knows. The vet was just like, he's so old.
That's what they say about me.
So anyway, like I was really happy. And that's not the right word. Hold on, because I was devastated by the loss of Old Flash. I love him. Okay, but there was a part of me that was kind of like, okay, that's one less animal we'll be taking care of over the winter. Okay, because I mean, I love it, but let's be honest.
It's a
There
lot
are
of work.
days when there's negative degree weather, or like right now, like we had all the snow and now everything has melted. So, like, I went from there's poop frozen all over the cement where my horses are walking around. I can't even get it off. So, they're like walking around it in this area outside because I can't, like, it's mushy outside. They can't go all the way outside or they're going to tear up their pasture, but it's frozen on there and they're walking around on like ice and frozen poop. Okay. And then today it hits 50 degrees and all of that melts. So then, like, definitely the pasture is soaked and way extra mushy. But this concrete pad where my big horses are at, like, is nasty and slushy and soupy and poopy. And like, it's just really disgusting. And, um, everybody else has to be like all the little girls, the little mini mares, they are all in stalls so that they don't tear up their yard. And when they're in stalls, that's way more work that we have to do. Okay. Like, you're in there twice a day, cleaning all the poop out of the stalls, refilling water buckets, feed, hay, all the stuff. And then just like trying to give them attention because they're bored stuck in this small stall. Which we don't stall unless we absolutely have to. But the point is, like, there's a lot of work, with according to the weather, just different things. It's a lot of work. And then to be outside and be freezing and doing this work, or just whatever. Winter, has its moments. And I was kind of thinking that it would be nice to not have one other horse to take care of all winter long. And I had, like, literally the very next day after Flash died, I had some Amish friends stop by and they were like, "Hey, we just happen to have 2 riding horses. Would you be interested in them?" And I just bawled my eyes out. Like, they asked me the question and I was just like, it just hit, all the emotions. And I'm like, "Listen, I'm sorry. Our horse died last night. Like, I'm sad. I'm not in any place to turn around and buy these horses, but like, I'm always going to go look, because why wouldn't you go look?"
Right.
And so I did. I looked. They were beautiful. It wasn't, and I knew that was not, I wasn't ready. And I still, like, I think even the horses sometimes, the bigger horses sometimes will go into Flash's stall and they'll stop and kind of sniff around. And I don't know, I just feel like they're still catching his scent in there. And I don't know, it's just something. Like, animals are so cool, but I still miss him, and it's cool when I'm not thinking about it all the time, but then like something will happen and there's a thought or there's whatever, and then it's sad. He was the very first. And anyway, my Liberty trainer messaged me last night and said, "Hey, I don't want you to feel obligated in any way. And if you want to say no, don't feel bad. Say no. I'm just throwing this out there." She said, "One of my boarders rescued this horse." Okay. So, I mean, automatically the word rescue, and this is funny because I don't know at what point in time when I had said, first I said I wasn't ready, but I'd had this thought and I never said it out loud to anybody, but I did say, um, like, if a horse needed rescued or something, like, I don't want another horse, but if there was a horse that was in a situation that needed rescued and like it was going to be free or something, like, I would be willing to consider it. Okay. All right. So then she messages me and she's like, "So one of my boarders rescued this horse. It had been locked in a stall for almost a year. Its hooves weren't trimmed for months. And we've had the vet check him out. We got his feet done. The vet like gave him the okay and said, even like probably with some shoes that had pads on his, hooves, he would be sound for some light riding. And he's very quiet under the saddle. Like, she's messed with them. And, they are willing, the lady that bought him, she's keeping him here, but would be willing to gift him to your program." And I thought, well, I the 2 things that I had said in my own mind that only God could hear is what this guy was. And I love the idea of rescue horses anyway, So I didn't go get him or anything right off the bat. I'm supposed to go look at him Tuesday, but like, this definitely could happen. I very well could bring this guy home And the whole point is that he needs a soft landing and a forever home. He needs attention. He needs love. So if I go pick this guy up, like, this is a commitment, for a long time. But to choose a new horse like that, to take one on, to bring a new one in, not just like for the emotions that I'm going to have to deal with, or like the physical commitment of caring for him, or the financial commitment of vet bills and feed and stuff like that, but introducing a whole new horse into the herd. Are my horses ready for that? I don't know. But so we'll see. I have a few days to pray about it. And I've had some other people say, like, I know this is from God. God's given you a Christmas present. And, this is definitely the thing that you should do. So I don't know. I'm trying to play it cool. But who doesn't like a new horse, Always.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. So I don't know. That's a thing. But God's perfect timing. Because also, like I said, there are some exciting things in the works, I think. And I think God could be preparing my perfect herd for what's going to come next. Just like Laura, that other horse that we got. I was not looking for a horse. And our Amish buddy was like, hey, I've got this horse and I really think you need her. And they practically gave her to us. There were a few dollars involved. But not many, because they wanted her to go somewhere where she was going to have a really good retirement and she was going to get lots of love and lots of attention. So we get her. She's older, bomb proof, has already raised an entire family of Amish kids. And she's quiet, she's calm, she's loving, and she's not a mare kind of mare. Like, she's very chill, and she fit right in with my boys. And, we get her, and then what happens? Flash passes away, and every kid that was working with Flash immediately was drawn to Laura. And it was like God knew. He knew he was going to take Flash home, and we were going to need somebody to stand in his place. And Laura was it. And, like, she's just been, I don't know, she's been an awesome addition to the herd. So that's cool. But God's perfect timing is everything.
Have you ever been in the midst of something that's the worst thing ever? You're full of fear. It's just bad. You just can't even move a minute past it. And then once you're through it and you look back, the thing that I thought was the worst thing in my life was the best thing ever. I was really, really close to my mom, and my mom died unexpectedly. And in short order, my first grandson was born. So it was like I was so grieved, and then I got this wonderful gift of my first grandchild, which you get to go through that.
Yeah, got a grandbaby, granddaughter.
So forgiveness, you got anything on forgiveness?
On forgiveness, okay. All right, this is real, okay? Everything that she said before on forgiveness, legit, okay? To add to that, you are going to forgive somebody and you're going to feel really good about it. And then later, you're going to be mad again. And then you're going to think, I didn't forgive. But you did, and you will have to forgive again and again and again. Because, and I think you kind of mentioned it, really. You touched on it. That stuff is going to come up. And it's just, you're going to have to redo it. And that's okay. And God knows that. You can talk to him about the same thing 1,000 times. Okay? But it is a continual practice of continuing to give it to God. Yeah, right. Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It
One
can be
thing
hard,
to really be careful of, though, is don't, this, I used to be a really great reactor. Okay, you do something, and then I reacted. And it just added to whatever the mess was, okay? Which now, the best practice for me is zip it, don't react, okay? And usually, if I let that go for a little bit, I don't need to react. Now, I used to think I had to say my piece all the time. Well, you end up having to apologize 1,000,000 times in your life if you live it that way. You know, the thing of I don't very often ask God to see someone through his eyes or to hear them the way that he does. Because the times that I've done that, he has let me see what he sees, and it's crushing. It's heartbreaking. There is so much brokenness out there, so much brokenness. And when I think about my own brokenness, and I try to work on it, okay, all the people out there that aren't even, some people don't even know they're broke, you know, so they're not working on it. But if God ever allows you to see them the way he sees them, it can be pretty devastating, you know, because I don't go around thinking that most things that are done to me are purposeful. I think we're pretty poor at communicating, and because we don't stop it right there and say, hey, that hurt my feelings. Did you mean to hurt my feelings? You know? We don't do that. We just self-interpret what was said, you know, and that's how we see it. That's our perception. Then we take that in, and then it becomes a pain, you know. So
Yeah, sometimes people don't even realize they wronged you. Or even if they do, that doesn't even mean they're sorry. Try forgiving somebody who's not even sorry for what they've done and isn't even bothering to come to you to try to make it right, you know, but you still have to forgive them anyway.
Try going and apologizing your wrongs to someone, and then they say, now if this had been a dude, it wouldn't have mattered. I probably wouldn't even apologize back then, okay? But this was my girlfriend, like one of my best friends. And I went to her. I called, asked if I could come over, and I had been gone a while, you know. I'd been in treatment and so forth and so on. Anyways, I go over, and I make amends. And she says, you know what? I don't care what you're sorry for. I hate you. And I'm like, okay.
Right. What do you say to that?
Yeah, you get in your car and you leave and you cry, and that's what you say. Now, today, that doesn't matter. And if I was who I was today, I know where that comes from. She's exactly like me. She was me. She was my drinking buddy. Everything I did, she did too, almost, you know, so whatever. I didn't know that, though, and I was devastated. But the thing was, the only person that needs to forgive me is where the snowflakes are coming from, you know. The rest of it, I am responsible to make amends, and I do 100% feel that way. I inventory every night of my life, you know, but thank God I'm getting old and I can't remember everything I've done all day, so I'm missing some things, so I have to do this corporate prayer of God, you know, I can't remember, so if I've done something, bring it to the light, you know. I don't really want you to bring it to the light, but I know that has to go on so I can say I'm sorry, you know, but that's really about all I got. That's it. That's it.
That's funny. We didn't have anything else to talk about.
No, it's okay. We're getting ready to go on vacation for 2 weeks. It's all
Oh my
right. And you
gosh,
got this.
yeah.
I mean, it's snowing.
I know it is.
You know.
It's snowing in here, but it's raining outside. We can hear it like pouring down on the roof.
Right.
On the roof.
I hate to drive in that, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's how it is.
Yeah, it was really very chill, laid back podcast tonight. I luckily didn't have to spray Kim.
Well, she forgot the bottle.
I know. I don't.
She forgot the bottle.
We're gonna get a new one, and we're gonna leave it here.
Yeah.
Thank you. Get the snowflakes out of my face.
I got them off. It's okay. All right, so we're done. So,
yes.
Merry Christmas.
Follow the Facebook.
Happy New Year's. Yeah, and she does all that. I can barely find my way to where we are on there. So that's that part of that. So Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. don't forget what the season's about.
That's right.
you
Santa
know?
Claus is a lie, and don't boof.
Oh, okay.